The agrarian condition of the Philippines was largely dominated by landowners for a long period of time. The farmers, thirsty for social justice, began to assert their rights to land and other natural resources.
Makibaka, ibigay ang lupa. Makibaka, ibigay ang lupa.
Amin tong lupa na to. Anong problema nyo?
This conflict paved way for former President Corazon Aquino to approve the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Law, also known as RA 6657, which aims to implement the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program for an equitable distribution and land ownership.
Huwag kayong mag-alala. Makakuha pa rin kayo ng mga lupang sinasakay nyo at makakatanggap pa rin kayo ng mga aanihin nyo.
Paano naman kami? Hindi naman ata patas iyon.
Kaya nga, sisiguraduhin namin na meron kayong just compensation na matatanggap para maayos ang lahat.
What is just compensation? The compensation is given to the owner is just compensation if he receives for his property a sum equivalent to its market value. According to the law, private property shall not be taken for public use without just compensation.
The following factors are considered in the determination of just compensation.
Teka. Sino magko-compensate sa amin?
Land Bank of the Philippines ang magbibigay ng compensation sa inyo. At ang halaga ay depende sa napagkasunduan ng Department of Agrarian Reform at ang Land Bank of the Philippines.
Compensation shall be paid on one of the following modes at the option of the landowner. First, through cash payment under the following terms and conditions.
Second, through shares of stock in government-owned or controlled corporations, LBP preferred shares, physical assets, or other qualified investments in accordance with guidelines set by the PARC.
Third, through tax credits which can be used in opposition to any tax liability.
Lastly, through LBP funds, which are issued to farmer beneficiaries and landowners once the government issues interest in ownerships of the lands. It serves as an assurance that the government will pay for the land. They can also be used by the landowners for transferring and negotiating with buyers and acquisition of lands wherein the bonds paid were situated. LBB funds may be used for payments for various taxes and fees to government, which will be limited to a certain percentage. Payment for tuition fees in government schools and fees in government hospital of the immediate family, and other uses the PARC may allow.
Land Bank is the first universal bank in the country, an official depository of government funds. It's the only commercial bank with a social mission of spurring countryside development.
The Land Bank of the Philippines is primarily responsible for determination of land valuation, land evaluation, compensation for all private agricultural lands, and collection of amortizations from farmer beneficiaries.
Under the Republic Act No. 3844, the Land Bank of the Philippines was established with the goal to provide timely and adequate financial support to all phases of agrarian reform.
Land Bank's powers include lending for agricultural, industrial, home building, and home financing projects and other productive enterprises, as well as lending to farmers' cooperatives and associations to facilitate production, marketing of crops, and acquisition of essential commodities.
The intended clientele of the bank is the Filipino farmer, with the hopes of them to have a better life by giving them ample support in owning a piece of land by providing credit assistance.
If the landowner accepts the offer of the Department of Agrarian Reform, the Land Bank of the Philippines shall pay the landowner the purchase price of the land within 30 days after he executes and delivers a deed of transfer in favor of the government and surrenders the certificate of title and other monuments of title.